So we warmly welcome you to Yokoten, the best business practice sharing session. And today, like every day, we have a special guest, but this is a guest we know, someone who we know all the time. Asi, once again, warmly welcome you to Yokoten.
I'm glad to be here, Yasas. It's actually morning now. Probably since it's a recorded session today we are doing,
Yes.
It's good evening for all of you.
Definitely, a good evening. And Asi, as we all know, is the CEO of #33. He's also a partner. And today I'm going to ask you some different questions, Asi. I hope you're ready. This is not scripted, so
Completely.
I hope you won't get annoyed with some of the questions I ask.
I might. Let's see.
Let's see how it goes, right?
Let's
So,
play by
Asi,
ear.
how do you find yourself? Do you think you're a very disciplined person?
Interesting question. I would say, now I'm thinking. I would say not 100%, but in certain instance I am disciplined. In certain instance I am not. I am lazy.
Okay.
But I would say 80% I am disciplined. 20% I am lazy.
If I ask you to go back probably more than 20 years ago when you were in school,
Yes.
then were you more disciplined or less disciplined than now?
Oh, less disciplined than now. Yes.
Less disciplined.
Less disciplined than now. Yeah.
Okay, you're sure?
100%. Yes.
So you put me out of my next question because I thought you would say you were disciplined. So
I would say the ratio might be different. Probably 80% not disciplined, less disciplined, 20% disciplined.
So the 80-20 change basically.
Yes.
And that's a drastic change then.
Yes. With time it changed actually.
Okay. So that's interesting because if that is the case and if because we are talking about best practice sharing and we
Correct.
want to share about what changed us or how we improved, what was the triggering point? How did you change from 80% not disciplined to 80% disciplined? What was that point?
Interesting question, yes. Now, for an example, when I used to do advanced level, I went to this specific teacher, chemistry teacher.
In school or?
Outside of
Outside of
school.
school,
I'm
okay.
not going to disclose the name. From his class onwards, I actually got the little bit of, I would say, encouragement and push towards self-development. Because he was sharing certain concepts, sharing certain things about self-development. Back then I didn't understand the concept, but later on when the life progressed and also with the community that I got surrounded with, I got
People like me.
including you. Do you want me to take out
No.
from this equation? All right. So including you actually. With the community I got connected, they actually supported me to change the table. And that process actually helped me to be more disciplined than that. Why I say I was disciplined, less disciplined? I was disciplined for the things that I love back. Right? But for an example, for studying I was not. But for playing guitars, I was. Because it interested me. Right? I was liking learning something new. So probably that might be a reason. And also when I grew in this process, I found life very fascinating. Probably it might sound like a cliche terminology. Why I say I found life fascinating is because of the challenges I faced. Because I had zero clue how to face these challenges.
Okay.
But being disciplined actually helped me to challenges fearlessly.
Interesting, because I would like to also talk about my view about you, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Because from school time, I think the secret is we never liked each other much, right?
Not at all.
Yeah,
No.
we were not good friends. We had a mutual friend who was a good friend, so we
Yes.
didn't like each other much. And one of the reasons probably was I never saw you as a serious person at that time. I felt like, you were annoying at times. I'm sure you'll have your own side of story to tell about me. And probably you were right. I didn't see the discipline you have today at that time. But what changed in terms of how I saw you as a disciplined person was when you invited me once for a Toastmaster session. where you delivered a speech.
Okay.
Right?
Not the failed one, right?
No, definitely not, because I didn't see the failed one then.
Not the one that I cried.
No, I didn't see that.
It did happen.
Okay. So that I didn't see. I've never seen you doing any public talking. Right. Of course, I've seen you acting.
Yes.
I've seen you doing your Mr. Bean
Mr.
back
Bean,
then,
Mr. Bean.
and of course the other, Agri Boys, performances and all those.
Yes.
But I've never seen you talking. And when I saw you talking, and in English, in a Toastmaster event, I was like, wow, this is not that guy I saw back then. And it was few years after school. It wasn't that long after school also. I was like, wow, this man is someone I want to work with. And also, our mutual friend told me about the guitar story. He's a guy who's very patient, right?
Yes.
And he told me when Asi started the guitar, at one point I told him, stop playing the guitar. You will never learn it. And then he said a year later, when he met you, or 2 years later, he couldn't believe the way you played the guitar.
When he came from Canada.
When he came back from Canada
I
in 2003, right? And that kind of told me two things. Okay, so a guy from not being good in something, being great later, shows determination, shows passion, and that will not come without discipline. And that's the exact reason why I thought today we'll talk about discipline, because in today's world, discipline is very important.
Absolutely.
And discipline is not like what the teachers say, being seated in one place with your finger on your mouth, not that discipline. But the ability to kind of continuously pursue one thing and to be at it no matter what comes. Which brings me to the next question, Asitha. You said now you are probably 80% disciplined.
Yes.
Can you give me some instances that you believe
Yeah.
where you are more disciplined?
Right. You know about my gym life, right? Yes, as physical activity.
I was waiting for that.
Because it's not to build a body or anything, but going to the gym is my time. It's my zone, right? And I would say probably you know about my 30,000 push-up challenge also.
Why don't you explain it a bit so that the viewers would know what this 30,000 push-ups is?
Yes. By the way, completed it last year. So this wonderful human being called David Goggins, search for him on YouTube. He has these amazing stories, amazing podcasts. He actually inspired me. So he was doing a challenge related to pull-ups. I was listening to his audio book. And suddenly it just triggered because I hate doing push-ups.
Okay.
I
didn't know
hated it. I literally hated it. And the moment he said that he started this challenge, a thought came, probably a trigger, and I thought, all right, I'm going to do 30,000 push-ups. Number just came. I don't know where it came, but it came. 30,000 push-ups within a year. Fair number. I also have like 365 days to do, but I had zero clue how to do it, how to execute.
Okay.
Just to commit to myself, I posted that on my social media,
Okay.
especially in Facebook, saying, "Hey, I'm doing this challenge. If anyone like to continue, you can join with me." I just put it like that. The reason is just to give confidence for me, and obviously because of my 1 minute motivation series, people actually looking at my videos related to this 1 minute motivation videos, and all these videos, that's a different story, probably another time I'll explain. All the videos that I did, not for the audience, it purely for me.
Okay.
And even for this one, purely for me. So I made a commitment. Okay, I'm going to record the videos and upload it every single day. So first day I only did 8 push-ups.
Wow. Okay.
And gradually I came to a point where I can execute 100 push-ups within a minute.
My goodness.
That's a progress.
Of course.
And
how long did it take?
It took me about 3 months actually.
That's good.
It took me about 3 months because the consistency and the commitment. Even probably even after my grandfather's passed away, even during his funeral day, I did the push-ups because of the commitment. So
I remember one day we were having a workshop and we were literally staying in the same place, and I remember you doing the push-ups even then.
Yes. So that actually gave me the boost. It's encouraged me, because the moment that when we do something like that, it creates a separate pattern and habit within ourselves. Whenever I come across any challenge, I go back to these beautiful strong memories that help me, and then with that mindset I execute. So that's the story about this 30,000 push-ups.
Wow. So one thing is the 30,000 push-ups, one is gymming, basically waking up. At what time do you wake up?
5 o'clock.
Okay, every day.
Every single day, 5 o'clock.
Including the weekends, or?
Including the weekends, and 5:30. Some weekends I don't.
Okay.
Some weekends, obviously, since you know that when I do the lectures, I have to wake up early in the morning. So during those days, I wake up at 5 o'clock, maybe 5:15.
Okay.
Weekends, go to the gym around 5:45, 1.5 hours, and then come home, and then go back to my work. So that's
Amazing.
the process.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And now, do you think it's a discipline or it's a habit?
It was a discipline. It is a discipline.
Yes.
And also, it's a habit.
It's a habit. It
Yes.
has become a habit. So what they say is, if you repeat something over and over, automatically it becomes a habit.
Correct.
And now it's a habit that needs a discipline also.
Absolutely. Because some days, Yasas, I literally hate going to the gym also.
There are rainy days, right? You want to sleep.
Yeah, sometimes I just wanted to, sit and chill, do absolutely nothing. But in a point like that, sometimes I encourage myself to break that mindset. Sometimes I just sit and relax.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And so the third thing I wanted to ask you, touched upon that, is the 1 minute motivation. So what is 1 minute motivation, and if you can briefly explain? Of course, we'll go deep probably another day about it. But I believe that is also something which definitely comes under discipline. So that's why I'm asking this question.
Interesting question, Yasas. I'm going back in my memory lane. So I started it during the COVID time. The concept was very simple. I wanted to share an encouraging message, not to the world, but to me, within a minute. My first video.
What triggered you?
I was going through a huge challenge, personal life challenge.
Okay.
And sometimes when we go through certain challenges, we go back to our supporting system, our friends, mentors, coaches, right? But this time, I want to reach out to myself. And I was thinking how to reach to myself. And I asked that question, the challenge, as a person from myself. And the answer I gave to myself actually recorded in a video.
Okay.
So that was my first video. It took me 4 days to edit the video, do the video, write it, script it and everything.
So basically, though you did a video every day, you didn't post it on the same day.
First video I created it. After 4 days I uploaded it.
Okay.
And then every single day I uploaded a video for about close to 3 years.
3 years? I thought this
Continuously.
was 365 days again.
3 years continuously I did.
Wow. And what do you think? Like, you started it for yourself.
Yes.
But then you started posting these videos. And then obviously you would have had engagement. People would have reached out to you, talked with you. They would have bumped into you and asked, "Oh, I saw your video."
Yeah.
What did it become? How did you see it at the end?
I was named as the 1 minute guy.
1 minute guy.
Yeah. Most of my friends and the communities that hang around actually got to know me through this 1 minute motivation community, and they saw me as a person who can support people, who can encourage people, and became a small brand. Now I don't do it. I'll tell you probably another day why I don't do that.
Okay.
And it actually built a separate brand for me. And most of my people know me, and they still consider me as the 1 minute
1 minute guy.
motivation guy.
Motivation guy. Then it's fine. Because if you say 1 minute guy, it might sound
There's a
something else,
difference,
right? And people who wouldn't know you would be like, wow, 1 minute, okay. Right. So 1 minute motivation, going to the gym every day in the morning, and then third is
Push-up challenge.
push-up challenge. What's next?
I am actually currently doing the pull-up challenge as well.
Okay.
It's not too visible to everyone, but every single day I do the pull-ups.
How many?
For now, it's just 50. I have completed actually close to 6,000 pull-ups now.
Wow.
Close to
And
6,000.
that's like how many a day?
Now I do it about close to 50. But it's really tough.
Of course.
Pull-ups and also the triceps challenge. I do have a small machine. When I don't have the machine, I do it. There are alternative exercises that support the muscles. So I do that now. But it's not too visible in the social media arena.
So now it has come to a stage that you don't need to announce it to get committed. You can self-commit yourself without telling anyone.
I think that's a good way of putting across.
Interesting.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So my next question is, you said like probably during school time it was the other way. 20% discipline, 80% non-discipline. And of course life teaches us everything is an experience and everything happens for a good reason. But let's assume there's a possibility for you to time travel, go back to your school days. Would you want anything different? Would you tell yourself something else? Is there any tip you're going to do, or you let it be as it is?
Smart question, and I do that every single day. I talk to my old self, and also I talk to my future self through the visualization. So every time I go back, I tell, just be who you are. Don't change anything. You are becoming something better and great every single day. Don't do all the mistakes, whatever you're supposed to do. That's it. So that's the only advice I'm giving to myself. I don't want to change anything. Yeah, I don't want to change anything.
But any youth who's listening, who's watching this Yokoten session, because we are sharing best practices.
Correct.
What would you tell them? How can they be more disciplined? How can they build some consistency in whatever they do?
Okay.
How can they motivate themselves or inspire themselves to do whatever challenge or whatever that limits them from what they want to do?
Okay.
What could be some tips you would
It's
give?
a very serious question that you ask, especially since you mentioned the youth. I would suggest only one point, Yasas. Let's take a simple example. Let's say waking up early in the morning, right? Assume or not assume. Let's say that you wanted to wake up at 5 o'clock.
Yes.
Right? And when you wanted to wake up at 5 o'clock, general people, what we do is that we set up the alarm clock on our mobile phone, probably 4:45, maybe 4:50, right? Lot of 3, 4.
I still do it.
Yeah, there's lot of messages or maybe alarms, reminders. That's right. That's the word I was searching for. Reminders for you to remind yourself, hey, you need to wake up at 5 o'clock. And when the first alarm goes, let's say 4:30 or 4:45, in your mind you say, that's okay, I have another 15 minutes, and I go back to sleep. Again, in another 5 minutes rings, I have another 5 more minutes. So you are waking up by giving excuse, which means that you are starting the day by giving excuse to yourself, which means that you don't commit what you committed to execute. Simple as that. If you wanted to wake up at 5 o'clock, put the alarm at 4:45 or 5 o'clock. Wake up at 5, stay for 1 minute, go back to sleep. Right? And you can have another extra 1 or 2 days. 4th day, wake up at 5, stay for 1 minute, go back to sleep.
Okay.
And slowly increase the time interval.
Interesting.
Because it's a process. If you want to do it, waking up at 5, I want to do this, I want to do that, you are putting pressure to yourself. Why you want to put pressure, unnecessary pressure? One step at a time.
Okay.
Slow steps.
Interesting. So what you're saying is there's no other way other than doing it. Start doing it, but take it as a stepped approach.
Action is the most important key, and then the second important key is evaluate. If you don't wake up at 5 o'clock, evaluate why you didn't wake up. You need to do the review. Most of the people, they miss achieving their goals if they don't review what
Reflect.
So
Okay.
that's why those are the two
So
activities
if you take it as a lesson, number one, commit yourself.
Yeah.
Second, take a step-by-step approach. And when you fail, reflect.
Absolutely. Even when you succeeded,
Still reflect. Very important. Very important. So,
ER, emergency room.
Yes.
Evaluate and review.
exactly, because sometimes we only evaluate or we have a post-mortem, or sometimes it becomes depressive because we are reflecting negatively, not positively. We are looking at, oh, I didn't do it, so what the hell, I give up.
Yeah.
Rather than, okay, why didn't I do it, and how can I make sure that I'm consistently, I'll try to achieve that. Very interesting. So Azi, I think time is
Time's
limited.
up, yeah.
Thank you very much for
Very
joining
welcome.
us in this Yokoten session where we talked about discipline, how you became a disciplined person, and what keeps you going, and few tips for the youth or anyone. I mean, discipline is for anyone at any stage.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and we hope that this session you really got some tips and you would be able to take something back and implement. And we would nicely ask all the viewers who are engaged with the Yokoten session, please go down, comment below, share your thoughts, share your story, share your discipline moments or moments that you did not have a discipline, because that will be very important for others who wants to achieve something.
Correct.
So with that, Azi, we'll end today's session of Yokoten. All the best with the next challenge, whatever
Thank
it
you,
is.
Yasas. Life is growing and everyone is growing.
Yeah. Thank you very much, all of you viewers. We'll see you next week with another Yokoten session.
Adios.
See you. Goodbye.